You are welcome to Genius Voice session. Now we're going to be learning about vertical projectile motion. Okay, so here we can see this is what we are given our equations of motion. Okay, so this is the equation that we're going to be using to calculate when we need velocity, displacement, time, acceleration, and so on. Okay, so now in this one we are focusing on object in free fall. Okay, so in vertical projectile motion we are dealing with a motion that is either thrown upward or dropped downwards. Okay, so where the only force that is acting on that object, for in case let's say it's a ball, the only force that will be acting on that ball is what is force of gravity. Okay, if you receive any problem where the force that are acting on the ball are either 2 or 3 or more, just know that that thing is not in a free fall. Okay, so now let's check a object in a free fall. Okay, so let's say here we're having the ground like this. Okay, so then here let's say we're having a building of a certain height. Okay, so now the ball is dropped from this height. Okay, let's say from this height until it reaches the ground. Okay, so this height we call it what? Change in displacement. The displacement. Okay, so now how are these going to be affected, or how are you going to be using this to calculate any vector quantity that is needed on your equation? Okay, so since this we have what? Vf, which is the final velocity. Okay, then we have final velocity is measured in meter per second. Initial velocity is also measured in meter per second. We have acceleration, which is measured in meter per second. Then we have displacement, which is measured in meters. Then we have time, which is measured in second. Okay, so now since these are the vectors, these 4 are the vectors, they must have a direction and magnitude. Okay, so how are we going to be using them when we are calculating any of these when asked? Okay, so now let's say we choose upward as what? As positive. Okay, or you can choose downwards as positive. Okay, when we choose upward as positive, anything that goes down, it has to be negative. When you choose downwards as positive, anything that goes up must be what? Negative. Okay, so now let's see. Let's say this one is point. Let me use another color. Okay, so let's say this one is point A, then this one is point B. Okay, so point A is our starting point and point B is our final point. So okay, now let's talk about the velocity. So in the starting point, when the ball is dropped, the initial velocity is going to be what? 0 meter per second. Okay, we choose, let's say we consider in free fall. To make things easier, we consider downwards as positive. Okay, or let's just say rely on the same thing. Let's say for us, or the people who will be, the learners who will be watching my video, we consider always upward as positive. Okay, so now initial velocity is going to be what? 0 meter per second. Then at B we are having what? A final velocity. Okay, then the final velocity is going to be what? the velocity goes from point A and then goes down, it means it's pointing down. So the velocity is going to be what? Negative answer, which is negative meter per second. Okay, then we are done with the velocity. Now what about the displacement? The displacement is going to be what? When you check from A to B, it's going to be what? Negative meter. Okay, this negative tells us about the direction in which our quantity is facing. When it's negative, it means now we're counting from point A to B, so you need to counting downwards. Okay, it doesn't mean or maybe the displacement is small or something. Okay, now again, what do we have to talk about? We have to talk about the acceleration. Acceleration, remember that acceleration is what? Is 9.8 meter per second. Okay, so and the acceleration is always pointing downwards. Okay, then we choose that upward is positive, so it means the acceleration is going to be what? Negative 9.8 meter per second. Okay, and then we are done with the acceleration. Then what is left? What is left is the time. You know that the time is a scalar. It does not have to be written in direction and the magnitude, so it will only include the magnitude there. Okay, so this is things that we have to know when you have to deal with the object in free fall. So if you choose upward as positive, it means any of these sorry, it doesn't have to be negative or something, just positive always. Okay, so yeah, if you choose upward as positive, okay, let's say you choose upward as positive, let's use this color. Okay, so it means now our final velocity VF is going to be what? Oh sorry, we are choosing, let's say we are choosing downwards as positive like this. Okay, so velocity at final comes from A then goes to B, is pointing downwards, so it's going to be positive. Okay, then the time will just remain also always as positive because it's not as vector. Then what about the acceleration? The acceleration is now going to be what? Positive 9.8 meter per second. Okay, because you chose downward as positive. Then what about the displacement? The displacement also is going to be what? Positive. Okay, then the initial velocity is going to be what? Equal to 0 meter per second. Okay, so and if maybe it's thrown with a certain velocity, it means it's going to be positive. So this is how we have to be dealing with this one. Okay, object in a free fall. So thank you for watching this video, and by mastering this, you will see that when we treat questions, you are able to understand and you can solve more questions on your own. So thank you very much. Remember that the time, this time is from point A to point B. Okay, so let me just write, this displacement is from A to B, this one is from point A, the acceleration is from A to B, then the time is from A to B, then the velocity when you're coming from A, then it's for B. Okay, so this is how we have to be doing a thing. So thank you for watching this video, and follow for more as we are going to be treating questions. Sharp.